before I do the daily cards post, I thought I'd just share with you the little story I shared in our group today. It was about coincidences, and are they coincidences, or are things preordained? Is everything set before we come down to the spirit world? How much free will do we really have? From my own experience, right as a small child, I think probably about 7, 8, 9, something like that. When I was at school, I was always the girl that looked after everybody. When the new people came in, they always got me to do it. And one of the girls one day came in, her name was Hayley. I think we must have been about 8 or 9, something like that. And I was asked to buddy up with her and look after her. Our relationship was really, really strong, and we had a lot of interest. And weirdly, her mum, both our mums were hairdressers, and she was a redhead, I was blonde, but my mum was red and her mum was blonde. Our dads had already met each other without us knowing in the betting shop, so they were already connected. But Hayley and I would have lots and lots of conversations about spiritual things and not really knowing what we were talking about. We were talking about God a lot. We would have lots of deep conversations about our belief in God. And I remember saying to her at the end of one, God's made us talk about all this, and it always made me feel good. It always made me have this little warm feeling in my belly when we did talk about it. And as the years went on, we both went to separate senior schools. Now, we didn't have phones in those days, so we had a few letters going back and forth. But we didn't lose contact, but we weren't right in great contact there. Then I remember getting my nan had a phone, and I remember speaking to Hayley on the phone, and she invited me to a party. So I said to her, I think I was about 14, 15 then. So I said to her, yeah, I'll come along, but can I bring my boyfriend? And she said, yeah, bring your boyfriend, I've got mine. So I took my boyfriend at the time, and he didn't go to the same school as me, but it turned out that and her boyfriend were best friends. It was the four of us, and that relationship ended with that particular boyfriend. I met somebody else randomly in a nightclub, and you think, all the different people I could have met, and his parents turned out to be healers. They were already in the spiritual work field and were healers, and sat in a circle and had some amazing things happen. They would talk about some of the amazing things that would happen in that circle, and I was always like, oh, I really like that. But they were also a little bit secretive about it, or just a bit closed about it. But I guess they would be, looking back on it now, I guess they would be. But I never really understood why I couldn't go along to it. And I kind of went off the track of the spiritual world for quite a long time. It was the 90s, so I went down that road. But I kept being pulled back, but I was torn, and I literally could feel my energy being pulled away and pulled back, pulled away for many, many years. When I was about 14, 15, I started to work, maybe a bit older, I can't remember. I started to work for this couple down our local pier, Southsea Pier, and I didn't know them. My uncle got me the job there, and I was doing the astrology. They were the mediums, and I did astrology for them on this little computer. Anyway, that was that. Stayed there a little while, moved on, and she did tell me, she read my palm, this medium. She said to me, you're going to be married twice. And I was engaged at the time, so I must have been a bit older than that actually, or I was due to be engaged. Maybe I was about 16. I got engaged at 17 the first time, so I might have been around about that age then. But she said, you're going to get married twice, and you're also going to work in America. And I in fact, America was one of the places I never wanted to go to. I really didn't want to go to. I'm a bit of a home bird. And she said, no, you will. You'll move abroad and you'll live abroad for a while, but you will be working in America. And I just thought, I can't see that. Anyway. One, like I said, and his parents were healers. I kind of forgot a little bit what she said, didn't think much of it as the years unfolded. Then that relationship fizzled out. I met my husband, got married, and we moved to Spain, and I was doing beauty therapy then. We moved to Spain, and I just thought, oh, this is what that medium was talking about. It wasn't America. She said moving abroad, this must be it. And that was that. And then me and my husband, we separated. By then I'd already really well into my spiritual journey by then. Giving up work, having children gave me the chance to be able to develop and study and really, really get into it full time. So as we come into, I don't know, I must be in my early 40s, got my new partner. I'm sat in Bournemouth chatting to his mum, and she says that she used to work down a pier doing readings. And she was describing the booth, and as she's describing the booth, I thought, that sounds familiar. And then she said, yeah, we had this little girl working for us. She did the astrology. My friend Ron, it was his niece. I was like, oh my God, that was my uncle. It was my Uncle Ron that got me the job for you. I was that little girl. So you're talking like 25 years later, we realise, and she wasn't even local. So statistically, if we were living locally, you could argue that. But she wasn't even local to the area that I was in. So I was just like, wow, how would you have even put that? And obviously Colin and myself have gone to America several times to work. So yeah, she was dead right. I haven't had the second marriage yet. I haven't had that one yet. But how bizarre is that? So are things, all these little coincidences, all this little pour, I really think I definitely should have been doing this work. I think definitely that is my calling without a doubt. And the fact that it's, the tarot readings didn't even come into me as a job. I felt that it was just a part-time hobby. In fact, I was told by another medium when I first started getting into the tarot that I would be doing something that would just take off. It would do really well. It would really take off. And at the time, I just signed up to do Chocoholics. I was doing Avon. I was doing Clean Easy. I was doing Avon, Clean Easy, Chocoholics, Betterware. That was the other one. I was doing all these things, and I was cleaning as well, cleaning for people's homes. This was when the children were really little and couldn't work properly there. So I did all these little jobs to earn some pennies. And so he said to me, yeah, something you're going to do is really going to take off. And I thought, wow, the Chocoholics is going to be amazing. I was doing tarot, and just didn't even enter my head. And all the other stuff just fell away. It just didn't really take off. But the tarot, all of a sudden, out of the blue, did. And this is the weird thing of how I got into the tarot. So again, all about coincidences. We'd had the children, and a friend of mine said, look, my daughter, it doesn't go out much, she doesn't meet anyone. There is a local children's centre literally up the end of our road, would you take her? And I said, look, it's not really my thing, I've got enough friends, I'm alright, child's alright, I don't really need that, but I'll go along just to support her for the once, and then I won't go again. So I went, and I bloody loved it. And she never went back again, and I went religiously, not just once a day, but sometimes twice a day. I absolutely loved it. I formed some amazing friends that I'm still friends with now, 15 years